Hello. Um, Today I've decided to talk about the Populate tool on the new versions of 3ds Max. So it starts with 2014, and any versions above this, we have the Populate tool. On YouTube alone, there are many tutorials telling you about the technical intricacies of this great new product, this great new plugin thing, or whatever you call it on 3D Studio Max, but I'm not going to go too much into the technical details because there's some very good stuff out there. Check out the actual official Autodesk tutorials. But what I'm going to do is just show you how to set up a very quick populate simulation, and then show you what I do with it with my artworks for creativity. So the populate is on the ribbon here. So you go to maximize select the populate, maximize the ribbon. Then you get all these options. Okay, don't worry too much about them. There's some really good options that you want if you want to learn more things. Creating idle areas, modify the idle areas, frames, etc., etc. Edit flow, add to flow, create ramps. A ramp's good because you can go up hills. But anyway, what I'm going to do is just quickly create a very simple flow. So you click on the create flow and just draw a path. So draw a path wherever it may be. So you might be on a street, so you can draw corresponding to the curvature of the street, or whatever, or a path. Because what's going to happen is that the people follow the path, right? So I'm going to go to simulate, press simulate, and click, and then it loads the simulation for you, and it's saying it's creating 11 pedestrians. So now instantaneously we have pedestrians, and if we press play, they're going to start moving, which is great because in the past this would have taken ages to do in 3D Studio Max, or also you would have had to buy some fancy plugin, but now it comes with the package, and you can see people have different clothes and textures. You can also modify these yourself, and you can choose what resolution. You can have a high resolution. This is on crowd skin at the moment. You can create a custom skin, and you can create stick figures. Stick figures are good when you've got hundreds and hundreds of people in your scene, and the performance lags a bit as well. So there you go. So that's that. So I'm going to take it back to crowd skin, and I'm going to tell you what I usually do with my drawings. So with my drawings, as some of you know, I make 3D graphics, and then I mix traditional drawings with the 3D graphics as a kind of overlay to have the energy of the traditional drawings, and then the 3D graphics to complement in that kind of way the sort of static, monolithic 3D graphic elements with light shining on them in CityWorks, and then the moving line. The energy of the line. So I do a lot of traditional drawings, as you can see if you look at my art site. So I'm going to show you what I do at the moment is that I get rid of the textures because I don't need them, and I just apply a normal material. Oh, I'm out of breath, I don't know why, but I need to go exercise today. So, right, so, okay, so now it's just a plain color. And when you render now, it's just grey. I'll try and render quickly. Hopefully it won't take too long. Okay, good. There you go. And you can motion blur the figures. If they're on a low resolution, you can motion blur the figures, or even on a high resolution. Yeah. Excuse me. Okay, so here are your figures, and you can include them in your renders, or you can composite them onto layers in Photoshop or Sketchbook Pro, etc., or GIMP. Right. Now I'm going to show you some work I did with these. So this is Piccadilly Circus, and it's available on a limited edition Giclée print, and it's printed on canvas. It can be printed on paper as well. And what I used for this, you've got the figures here behind the part of Piccadilly Circus that I modeled. And again, I used the figures here as a reference without any textures, and then when the 3D graphics image was made, then I projected it onto a wall, and then quickly made pen work, traditional pen work, lots and lots of pen work, different different images. I chose the ones I liked, and then some of these figures I used as references to create sort of sculptural drawings as an interpretation of the figures. So that's that one. So you can see how I did it in there. And then the next one was the embankment in London. Again, it's the traditional mixed with the digital. And down here, you cannot see any of the figures rendered here. There was some here, but I think I decided to get rid of them because they looked a bit like zombies in the Thames. So all I did here was use the figures as a reference for this figure-like drawing here. It's very abstract, but at the same time I used the references in a layer under it. No, I didn't use the sorry. It was projected onto the wall with the figures on. Then I used the figures as a reference for the lines. Excuse me. And then as I edited it further, when the projection went back into the digitization, into the 2D package, then I deleted the figures, so it just retains the kind of outlines, sort of abstract interpretation. So that's two examples of what possibilities you can do, you know, with art using the Populate tool. And be imaginative is great, because in the past it would have taken a long time to do in 3D Studio Max. And for example, I'm doing some new work based on New York City because I went on a trip there recently, and it's going to have many people. One of the compositions is looking from above, kind of abstract view from above, but it's going to have lots and lots of people in the streets. This is where I'm going to have to use the Populate tool along with, inside the Populate tool, the stick figures, because all the people will slow it down if they're rendered with skin on. So I'm going to do it like that. So watch this space, and it should be a few months until that's finished. And meanwhile, you can sign on to my newsletter or check out my site and keep up with Twitter and all that jazz. Alright, okay, thanks very much, and I'll speak to you later. Cheers, bye.